Wake up from this goddamn nightmare! How's it going, everyone? It's the Flying Pig on Flying Pig United, not a happy bunny. Because the transfer window has just slammed shut and United have been left wanting yet again. We're not able to get the business done. From what I'm reading at the moment, there has actually been no signings in the last sort of couple of hours by Manchester United in this final close of the transfer window here, which means that it's been an absolutely fucking shite window for Manchester United, doesn't it? Let's be realistic now. If we don't sign a midfielder or a forward, then it's been an absolute calamity. Lukaku's gone to Inter. Don't get me wrong, I was happy about him going, get some of that money back. Only if we're bloody going to go and spend it, though, and bring some players in to actually improve this United side. That is the only reason I'd be happy. Otherwise, you know, Lukaku's a decent player to have around. Why get rid of Lukaku if you're not going to go out there and get another forward? Why let Herrera go if you're not going to go out there and strengthen and get a midfield player in there to help create for United? We've got Daniel James, winger, flying winger, young lad from the freaking Championship, and yet United are not able to go out there and get an actual experienced player to help our starting 11 right now. Right now, we could have done with somebody. You know, let's just talk about some of the freaking names, man. You're talking about people like Bruno Fernandes, who it's been touted as being coming to United for ages. There's people like, look at who Spurs have signed. Spurs have just signed Lo Celso on loan. They've got Ryan Sessegnon. They've signed frickin' what's this? Ndombele. And Manchester United haven't actually managed to strengthen our midfield at all. It's a complete nightmare. I mean, it really is a joke that what's happening at this football club. And it all really stems from, you know, I keep going on about it. So does everybody else. Get it trending worldwide again. Because it's bloody true and it's not going away. And that is that the Glazers are a complete cancer at United. They don't truly reinvest in this football club. They don't really care what happens out there on the pitch as long as it's ticking over and making them money and they can use the brand as a commercial enterprise and an entity for them to make them bloody fat cash. That's all they really care about. Do you think they really want to spend huge amounts of money to appease the fans and get the players in and improve the squad during the transfer window when they could just sell players and not improve and not get the players in to actually replace the players that have gone out and make the money and divide it out amongst the shareholders and line their own pockets? Of course that's what they're going to do. So, I mean, really, it's all from the top down. Ed Woodward, the potato head in charge, proved once again that he cannot stay off that bloody phone to Babe Station long enough and actually generate some sort of a deal for United to get a player in through the door. Because this has been a poor transfer window from United. When you bear in mind that Herrera's gone out, who was our most motivated player, if you like, the player who put in the most effort out there for United. We let him go. He's gone to PSG, to greener pastures, probably where he can challenge for things. And then we've let Lukaku go, who was a proven goal scorer. He scored a goal like every 2 games for United even, which is not bad. I mean, he didn't do the business for us steadily. It wasn't good enough, wasn't a consistent enough thing. But only get rid of the lad if you're going to actually improve the squad or get somebody else, a replacement or somebody better to come in. Because the fact is, we've lost Lukaku, we've lost Herrera, we haven't actually benefited ourselves much. Defensively, we're looking much better, absolutely. Wan-Bissaka looks a great player, doesn't he? Great signing, £50 million, love that signing. Harry Maguire, great signing, 80 million, leader at the back there. We needed that. Defensively, we've added a lot to our team. But what about the goals? What about creatively? Our midfield is absolutely shite, man. You're talking about freaking Paul Bogbrush in the centre of the park there, who does it half the time, and half the time he doesn't even turn up. He's more worrying about his next haircut. You've got Matic, Static, Twatic, the Frankenstein's monster extraordinaire in the centre of the park, who barely does anything, barely moves around at all. He's literally like a planted tree. He's the new Fellaini. Then we've got McTominay, good young lad with a set of lungs on him as well, and he's pretty damn good, but he's young, he can't do it all himself. You've got Pereira, who I've been impressed with in pre-season, but can he make the step up and do it consistently for United week in, week out? I'm not so sure. You've got Freddie Flintstone in the centre of the park, who's bang bloody average, yabba dabba do. Sorry, hate to tell you, I mean, I hope he's good, but from what I've seen from him, he's bang bloody average. What do you want me to say? You know, so I think we've got a shite midfield, we've got a pretty bang average ropey skeleton strike force in the likes of Martial, somebody we've been playing on the wing, apart from in pre-season for a couple of games. We're going to now play at striker and hope that he bangs in 25 goals. I hope he does, and I think he's got great finishing ability. But it's a bit of a bloody risk. It's a bit of an all your eggs in one basket scenario, isn't it? What about Martial? Martial's been played out left recently in pre-season. Seems like maybe that's where Ole Gunnar's going to utilise him. Great. He's going to have to pop in with 20 goals this season then, isn't he? Otherwise United are screwed. So, you know, what a shite window. What a shitty... I haven't seen a shite window like this since a bloody elephant enclosure at Marwell Zoo. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely terrible what's going on at this club. And like I say, I mean, it's always going to be this way with these owners in charge. I mean, I'm going to click on, just out of sheer audacity, I'm going to click on the transfer centre on Sky Sports News here and see if there's been a late announcement for bloody Bruno Fernandes or somebody coming in. But I tell you what, no, I don't think there is. Oh, look at that, would you look? Lukaku joins into for £73 million. That's the only bloody Manchester United news today on deadline day, when we all knew we needed these players coming in, when we needed to strengthen, when we had the opportunity. Why haven't we spent the money? Why are Spurs signing players? What the fuck's wrong with that picture? Spurs don't sign players ahead of United, but it turns out they do. You know, we couldn't get Dybala. He mugged us off. Bruno Fernandes, we haven't even got in for, it seems, even though we were talking about it all summer long. And he scored bloody 31 goals in 50 appearances last season in all competitions from midfield. And we still haven't looked at that guy. Why? We haven't replaced Lukaku. We've still got Martial and Rashford up there. Sure, we've got Mason Greenwood, who I'm very excited about. The guy's 17, man, okay? Unless he's the next Michael Owen or the next Wayne Rooney, he's probably not quite ready yet. I'm hoping that he is, but it's a big if, isn't it? Is he the next Michael Owen? Is he the next... I mean, let's hope so. He bloody needs to be. So, yeah, I'm absolutely livid over this one. It's a complete melt job from United. Defensively improved us, but left us wide open in midfield there. Paul Pogba, let's talk about him. I want him. We need him more than ever now. We really do. We need him to step up and be a consistent player for us, because we haven't strengthened in midfield. We haven't got the lads in. So he's going to have to actually take the mantle of a world-class player, even though it's something that he's not very good at doing, and do it consistently. And I hope that he does, because he's a big player for us right now. He really is. I'm glad that he's not gone anywhere, because United board, with the board we've got in charge, they're not prepared to go out there and get the deals in, get the signings in. They're just jacking off or doing whatever it is they're doing, and United don't get the benefits of it. So now it's very important that we've got Pogba still remaining at the club. Absolutely. I can see I'm going to read a bunch of your comments out now, guys. Thanks very much for stopping by on the live stream, on the rant here. It's really annoying. It is. I mean, I just can't put my finger on why United haven't been able to get the deals in. Do players not want to come to United anymore? Do players not even care, about playing for United and wearing that red shirt like they used to? Am I coming through loud and clear, guys? It says my video's having a bit of a mare. We've had some technical issues already today. I bloody hope not. But we are hopefully going to get one of the defenders out, just to fill you in with the breaking news that's happened in our transfer window. Marcus Rojo looking likely to be going to Everton. Oh, great, we've got rid of players again. That's all United can do at the moment, is get rid. We can't actually get players in. And just guess what? We've got that festering Bruno Mars wannabe, Alexis Sanchez, still here at the bloody club, taking 500k a week. Is he even going to play? What has happened there? They haven't actually been able to get rid of the players that they needed to. I'm absolutely sickened. Right, guys, looks like I'm having a few technical issues. Hopefully it was okay for a little while on the rant here. The rest is just going to be an audio show. I was just going to jump on here very, very quickly anyway and give you my thoughts and opinions on it, because I'm pissed off about it. It's a shite window for United. Sort your bloody lives out, honestly. Really. That is the key. Absolutely gashtastic. What a bloody calamity. Hopefully I am resuming. Hopefully I'm coming through here. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to continue. It's very annoying that the stream's not working properly, but not as annoying as Manchester United's shitty transfer window. I absolutely despise the Glazers, man. What we need to do is just get Ed Woodward and just bake his freaking potato head, because he's bloody useless at the football club as well. What does he actually do? Yeah, he can stick our logo on a packet of noodles like no other and get us some money, get us some shekels, get us some extra coin to line the Glazers' pocket. But what he doesn't do is actually benefit this club in terms of bringing players in. We all know we need a director of football. The Glazers don't want a director of football messing things up, causing friction. They just want a yes man. They want a yes man. They want somebody like Woodward with his potato yes freaking microwave head. I'm sick and tired of him. I think it's about time that he did just resign from that role at the club and appoint a director of football and just be the commercial man. Because if he could do that, maybe he could be actually a useful asset to the club. But in the position that he's in right now, he can't bloody get the players in. It's evident. United have been linked to loads of players. We needed to sign loads of players this window in order to do it. We needed a rejuvenation. We needed a revolution. It's not happened. All we've ended up with is a better defence. The goals aren't going to come. We don't have the players there capable of actually challenging or even breaking us back into the top four like we used to. We just don't have that right now. We need to go out there, and there's no excuse. Look at Arsenal's transfer window. Let me just have a little look at Arsenal's transfer window, because they've managed to pull off, I think perhaps they have got the David Luiz deal finalised. They've also signed Kieran Tierney, so they've addressed some of the issues that they had at the back there, 100%. But not only that, they bought Pepe for £72 million, a real statement of intent. I'll tell you something, it is a sad day when Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur are outspending, outmanoeuvring, they're outworking Manchester United in the transfer window for new acquisitions and signing. What a sad time to be a United fan, it really is. All the inspiration has been drained from us. There's been no inspirational signing this season. Don't get me wrong, Maguire's a great signing, Wan-Bissaka's a great signing, but they don't inspire me out there. I'm not excited about, obviously excited that we won't concede as much, but we've not got a new player, and I'm thinking, God crikey, I can't wait for him to set the world at United and rip the opposition to shit. We don't actually have that these days. So, very gutted about the window here. Hopefully I am back online, lads and lasses, and you can hear me clearly. Sorry about the live stream issues. I'm going to look into the teething problems, and it's just teething problems. Alex Rincon with a super chat here. Thank you very much for stopping by, Alex. I'm going to get into your comments and stuff now, so get them in. Rincon comments, I said it when we drew Huddersfield back in May. Nothing will change until these greedy Glazers leave the club. Boycott the sponsors. Well, it's a very good shout. If you boycott the sponsors, if you boycott games, if you boycott buying merchandise and things like that, then it is going to have a knock-on effect, and the Glazers will take notice. But like I say, it's going to have to take a very big protest for an extended period of time where it actually hurts the club by losing money to the point where the Glazers think this just isn't worth it. Commercially, we're not going to be able to do it the same. We're not milking the fans dry of all of their hard-earned cash like we used to, so we're going to have to move on. Let's sell the club up. That's the only way it can happen, I think, because they're not going to want to relinquish this great football club from their grubby little perch, because from their clutch rather, because they are making a fortune out of it, aren't they? I mean, if you're a businessman, why would you want to get rid of Manchester United right now? Why would you want to sell him to somebody else to make money from, even if the fans of that particular company or that team absolutely despise you? You don't have to set foot in Old Trafford. You don't have to be there. You don't have to feel the wrath of the fans. You could just sit in your ivory tower in your pearly mansion and just rake in that cash from those hard-earned United fans who are pumping money into the club by watching games, by watching them on the TV, by buying merchandise. And even if they don't do that, it's going to take a long time before the Glazers would leave. So there you go. I just think it's a complete disgrace, the Glazers owning Manchester United. They should have never been able to buy it before. I completely agree with you there, Alex Rincon. He says, I said when we drew Huddersfield back in May, nothing will change until these greedy Glazers leave the club. There you go, 100%. That is the key to this. Northern Nightmare says, all right, Pig, static as Matic. Very disappointed. Where will the ROM money go? We all know the answer. It was never a one-window fix, but this doesn't show intent. Absolutely, Northern Nightmare. It doesn't show any sort of intent, really. We have got some defensive stability, sure, but there's no real inspiration, is there, like I was saying a moment ago? We could have reinvested that money from Romelu Lukaku. What they've done in a roundabout way is use the money from Romelu Lukaku and buy Harry Maguire. So we lost a striker. We haven't strengthened in that position. We didn't get the midfielder that we needed. We have strengthened at the back, but it's cost us a midfielder and a striker, effectively. What an absolute joke, man. What an absolute joke, honestly. Let's have a cheeky look at some more comments here. I can see a comment from Forever Red, who said, who is going to be our leader in midfield now? Pogba vanishes in big games. Yes, well, like I was saying, pal, Paul Pogba's going to have to step up this season. I've been saying that for the last 3 seasons, but he's going to have to, because we don't have the players in there. Now he's a very important player to us. Now he's that player who, he has to be that mobile box-to-box player. He's probably got to play next to McTominay in the 4-2-3-1. In behind, maybe Lingard, who's going to be our pressing man, or possibly Pereira. And then obviously Daniel James will be playing out wide, and maybe Rashford on the other side with Martial at top. That's probably how we would line up. That's probably how best we would line up. But it doesn't fill me with inspiration. It doesn't fill me with confidence, because I know Paul Pogba, sorry, I dribbled there. Although he's a very good player, he is not a consistent player. Not for United anyway. If he could get that consistency into his game, if he could get the motivation problems out of his game, then who knows? He could be that key man for us in the centre of the park there. Very excited with McTominay, but everyone else in that midfield, I mean, yes, Pereira, I've been impressed with in midfield, and some of the younger lads, but really what we've got now is not a lot of experience, not a lot of quality. I mean, Matic is good. he's good defender, and he's also good. He's got decent vision and things like that, but he's not a great defender. He's too slow for that. You saw in one of the preseason games, he just got totally turned over in the centre of the park, which led to a goal conceded. So he's too much of a liability. He doesn't have the legs anymore. A couple of years ago, yes, but now he's way too static. And unfortunately for him, he's probably not going to feature much for United this season. At least I hope not, because I think we should be giving opportunities to some of the younger lads rather than playing Matic in there. I'd rather see McTominay all the time, partnered with Pogba, and then, I'm guessing Lingard or Pereira is going to be in front of them. That's what I'm thinking Ole Solskjaer's going to do, and we're going to play a high-tempo, high-pressing game, and that's how it's going to be. We're going to use the pace of Martial, use the pace of Rashford, use the pace of Lingard or Pereira in there, use the pace of Daniel James, and we're going to stretch defences, and we're going to press them high up. And it could work with the players that we got right now, but it is a skeleton crew of players, because Rashford and Martial and Greenwood, is that really enough firepower up there? Is that really enough firepower up there when one of them's probably going to be playing out wide as well? Daniel James is a somewhat of an unknown entity, really. He has looked good. He has got blister in place. He can beat a man, absolutely. But is he prepared to come in and put in a real consistent season in the Premier League at the top level? Bearing in mind he's just come from the Championship and it's his first season in the top flight. A lot of pressure on the lad there. Shouldn't be, but I guess there is, because we have paid money for him. He is a new signing. He is in a position that we need somebody in. So he's going to play, and he's going to have to play well if he's to stay in that team. Daniel James, though, I'm excited about. Don't get me wrong, I think he's going to be a very good player. Still young, only 21 years of age. Ah, man, what a time to be a United fan. Let me just go on the transfer centre once again here and see if there's a done deal for United. Oh, dearie me. Nah, no, of course there isn't. There's just more announcement about bloody Spurs signing players and things. It is a sad, sad day. Right, back into the comments then. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in right now. Please do us a favour if you are tuned in to this live stream. Hopefully I'm coming through. I know there's a bit of a blip in the middle here, but smash a like on this video. Get your thoughts and opinions in the comments section about United's transfer window, about Romelu Lukaku going to Inter Milan and us not replacing him with a forward player, about us not getting that midfield player, about... Is Rojo still at the club? I think perhaps Rojo is still at the club. Maybe he has reached an agreement with Everton. We shall see what confirmed deals come through in the last sort of moments here. Comment here from Kyle Broom. Thank you very much for your comment, Kyle. We are a club in desperate need of resurrection. Well, I think that's the word he's going for. We need David Gill back at the club. Just imagine that. That's when the stuff really went to shit. Because when the Glazers bought the club, we still had Fergie, we still had Gill there. They made the transition so much easier, and they took a lot of the shite away from the Glazers just because on the account that they were such good football men. They ran that club so well. They've been doing it for years, very successful. The best sort of people in that role that United have ever had. So they knew what they were doing. So that saved the Glazers this sort of pressure that they're getting at the moment, because they were actually performing out there on a pitch. But now we're not. Now we're not doing that. And, if I could have my way, absolutely we'd have him back. We'd have Fergie back. We'd have them back. But it's not about Ole Gunnar. Ole Gunnar can only do so much. You can argue maybe the appeal to play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from some players around Europe is maybe not as high as it would be for, obviously not as high as it would be for people like Pep Guardiola or even Jurgen Klopp or even Mauricio Pochettino right now, because he does have a lot of connections throughout world football, and so that is a factor, but I don't think that really matters with such a huge club like United. I think what United have tried to do this transfer window, though, is probably the right thing, which is not go out there and just spunk loads of money on players and just have a gamble, have a risk. There was talks about Dybala coming in, and I would have liked to have seen Dybala come in, but not for the amount of money that was being bandied around. I don't think he's worth that. I don't think we need another mercenary who's only coming here for a paycheck. We need somebody who is actually stepping up, and if you look at the signings United have made, Wan-Bissaka's stepping up from Palace, Maguire's stepping up from Leicester, and James is obviously stepping up from playing in the Championship. So those signings are all hungry players, hopefully. They're all players with something to prove. They're experienced players in some ways, but also they've just got a lot of raw young talent. So I think that we're going to see... I think it's actually not as bad a squad as we think it is, but if an injury problem occurs, we get one or two injuries here and there, it could be a complete calamity, which is why we needed to strengthen. Let's just say Martial gets a 6-month injury. We are absolutely up shit creek, man, with a shitty paddle, aren't we? We're not able to actually do much in that scenario. Rashford will have to pop in there, or Mason Greenwood, he's going to have to step up. But, crikey, it's a lot of pressure for a young lad to deal with. So the fact that we haven't got Lukaku, the fact that we haven't got, Herrera anymore, crikey, it leaves us with a couple of holes in the team that we haven't filled. We've got a super chat comment here from Northern Nightmare. Thank you very much, mate. He comments and says, have a pint. I'm going on Sunday. All the best, geezer. Thank you very much there, Northern Nightmare. Have a great time, man. Love to be going to that game on Sunday. So hopefully it's going to be a good one for us. I mean, it's going to be exciting to see Harry Maguire in there. Baptism of fire for Harry Maguire, though, because he's not had much time to really bed in with United. He's not had much time to learn the system, work with his teammates, all that sort of stuff. So the coaching from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to only have been implemented so much before that kickoff starts on Sunday. So he's a good player, he's experienced. I'm sure we're not going to ask too much of him straight away, but it's a huge game. It's a huge start. There's huge pressure. £80 million signing. He's got to come in and he's got to be that man for us right away. I don't like it. I don't like how it's happened. I don't like how late that transfer happened, let alone the fact we haven't got any more. Because now we're in a position where we just don't actually have the necessary time to really work on stuff before the window. If you look at Chelsea, who we're coming up against, people may say, they've got a manager in the same sort of position, Frank Lampard, ex-United or ex-Chelsea legend, ex-club legend with not much managerial experience, similar to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Chelsea have had a transfer ban, so they've not really been able to bring players in, which I think maybe for Lampard is bittersweet. It's kind of good, it's kind of not. In some instances, it takes a little bit of the pressure off from the fans and the board because they understand that he's not had a limitless fund to go out there and strengthen. But it also means that he's going to have to play some of these players that otherwise maybe would have been improved upon in that window. So it kind of means maybe they've got a weaker side, but it also means they all know each other. They're all together. He's worked with some of them at Derby, he's worked with some of them at Chelsea. They're all together. So that's a tough game. What happened with the David Luiz deal, by the way, guys? Somebody can fill me in. Thank you so much there, Northern Nightmare, as well, for your super chat. Legend, I will have a bloody pint, mate. Maybe someone a bit stronger than that also, because this is a calamitous window. Comment from Beefy Mario. I just love that name, pal. He comments, Glazers out is unrealistic, but can we put pressure on the Glazers to sack Woodward? I bloody well hope so. That's a very good point. Get bloody Woodward out because he's useless. At least appoint a director of football if Woodward's going to stay in some sort of a role. He does get the deals in. He does get the commercial money coming in. But other than that, what does he actually do apart from sit there looking like a King Edward, the prick? Gungshi in the house for the super chat. Thank you, Gungshi, for getting involved here again, mate. He says, it's like we went halfway and sorted out the defence, but then decided the midfield and right wing weren't worth strengthening. We've got a good few players, new players, but it's still a shambles considering what we needed. Well said, Gungshi. Thank you very much for your super chat and your input there, mate. 100%. I mean, it is like that. We haven't we haven't got the midfield. We haven't got the forward areas strengthened. We've just strengthened the defence. So we've actually weakened ourselves in the midfield by losing Herrera, weakened ourselves up top there by losing Lukaku. We strengthened at the back considerably by getting Maguire and Wan-Bissaka in there. So it's just like we've just changed the balance, changed the table balance of shit from one shite to the other. That's all it is. We haven't actually improved us. We've just changed the levels of shite on the different areas of the pitch. So that is what we've done. It's a complete fucking disgrace, this transfer window. So yeah. It is a shambles, Gungshi. Thank you very much, Thank you very much for your super chat there. Oh, I think I'm going to cry. It's really that bad. Let's see what happens, though. Like I was saying earlier on, if the players stay fit that we've got, I'm trying to be optimistic here, I am, but I am pissed right off. But I'm trying to be optimistic. If we get Rashford performing, if he performs and steps up and get the 20 goals in this season that he needs, if Martial does the same, if Daniel James is a success, which is an if Pereira adapts well, to playing week in, week out, or if Lingard can do it for us, if Pogba can do it consistently and not be that 50% man all the time, if McTominay can make... There's so many bloody ifs, though, isn't there? You know? It's like we've got a bunch of clowns running Manchester United. It is. It's like it's just... literally like watching It or something, except it's called If. If we had these players, we'd probably be okay, but we don't. If Daniel James is okay, then we'll be okay. You know, there's so many ifs that it's just possibly not, it's not all going to happen, I'm afraid. I think some of these players are going to struggle. There may be injuries at times. There may be a bit of a bedding in period. Even players like Harry Maguire, it could be one of those things where he's just trying so hard, the pressure's on, that maybe it doesn't happen for him for a while. From what I've seen from him, he's a quality, player. Obviously seen a lot of Harry Maguire play a lot of games, whether it be for England, whether it be for Leicester City. He's solid, he's consistent, he's a great ball-playing defender, he's a great tackler, great defending set pieces. He will absolutely add something to our defence. He's way better than Smalling, he's way better than Jones, he's better than all of our defenders, really. And partnered with Lindelof, that could be the next sort of partnership to see United through the next couple of years. If Lindelof increases his progression like he has done over the last couple of seasons, he could be top. And Maguire's already about to, he's on the cusp, he's about to be there. He's England's number one centre-back, basically. That says everything. So he is gonna improve a lot over the next few years as well. He's coming to the best period in his career. Right then. I'm hoping I'm coming through okay, guys. Are we okay? I know there was a stream issue, so let me know. AJ Job says this has been a good transfer window. You're right. You're right. If we are an if team, but that's the same with everyone. If a player doesn't perform, they will do shit. Well, yeah, fair enough there. I see what you say. Maybe I was just chatting absolute bollocks there. But it is that situation. We are an if team because there's a lot of ifs. But that's the same with any team. You're right. But we've got to have a lot of things go our way this season to be able to make a success of it. That's the thing. Other teams have strengthened. Spurs have strengthened significantly. I expect them to comfortably be in the top 3 this season as they were last year. City have strengthened. Players like Cancelo, great signing. They've strengthened. They're going to be right up there, probably doing the same thing. Too much of a well-oiled machine. Too much of a good coach. Too much of a good squad of players. And then, of course, Liverpool. I guess you could say maybe there's a possibility they won't hit the tracks running as much as they did last year, just because they haven't got the momentum from signing players. They haven't brought anybody in really, but they don't really need to, like a United did or like an Arsenal did. But Arsenal have got the players in. So if you're looking at the windows, how would I rate Manchester United's window? Well, it's not truly terrible. It's not like Liverpool's window, but at the same time, Liverpool didn't need to strengthen as much. So it's not as bad as Liverpool. It's worse than Liverpool's window because Liverpool didn't need to strengthen as much. They've already got Van Dijk. They've already got Alexander-Arnold. They've already got Robertson at the back there. Great defence. They've already got, Salah, and they've Mane, and they've already got loads of players, don't they? United needed to strengthen. Arsenal needed to strengthen. Chelsea, you could argue, needed to strengthen, but they weren't able to because of the transfer ban. Everton needed to strengthen. Now, Everton have strengthened, I believe. They've signed a couple of players. Spurs have signed a couple of players that will improve their already really good squad. Arsenal have signed a whole bunch of players. Pepe, they've signed... have they signed David Luiz? Let me know. Is that confirmed? There was a lot of talk at the end of the hour that was going through. And of course, they did confirm, officially sign Kieran Tierney as well. So if they got those players, then they have really improved their squad, as well as a couple of other players that came in earlier on in the window. So fantastic transfer window for Arsenal, you have to say. Fantastic transfer window for Spurs. Great window for City. Decent window for Liverpool because they didn't really need to get anyone. Even though maybe you could say they could always look to add competition. They could always look to add a little bit of fire under some of those players there by adding competition to the team. But that doesn't always work out like that. They've got a great thing there, the harmony, etc. Why ruin it? If it's working, they don't need to ruin it. So they don't need to sign anyone. So there you go. It's just United out of the top teams, I would say. The top 6 teams have probably had the worst window. Chelsea, of course, they're sort of a non-event this window, aren't they? They've really done jack shit because of the ban and everything. Lampard's come in there, he's got to work with what he's got. So that's actually probably out of all the top teams we could play first game of the season, Chelsea's Frank Lampard's Chelsea, is probably the best one because obviously they haven't got the strongest of teams, and they haven't strengthened so much, but they do have that sort of team unity where everybody knows each other. So it's going to be a big game for United. I hope we can do it. We're going to be defensively sound, I hope. But there you go. I mean, that's the thing. We can still get ripped open. If our midfield isn't up to it and we're just giving away possession all the time and we're not actually utilising our possession well, we're not breaking through the opposition and they get on top of us, it's all well and good having Harry Maguire and Lindelof at the back there, but they're still going to concede goals. They're still going to concede goals, aren't they? They're only human. And if the team in front of them is absolutely shite, what good does it really do? What good does it do? Oh. Eric Han with a comment says, of course, worse, strong defence with no midfield to protect them and a weaker forward. Yeah, absolutely. We have got a worse off team now, so we've got a stronger defence. But you're right, there's nobody to protect them in there. Who is protecting our defence? Static, Twatic, Frankenstein, Matic? No, he's not defending a bloody anything, is he? What about McTominay? Yes, good player, but I mean, he's not top tier yet. He's got a lot of improvement to do. But he is good. I do like what I've seen from him. So, yeah, I mean, there's just not enough there in midfield to make the job of the defence easy. When Ole Gunnar first came in, he took the pressure went off of the defence, and we started to defend really well for the first 10 games, which was crazy, bearing in mind the shite defence that we had, because we started to flood forward and go forward and rip teams apart. But if we don't have the midfield that can take the pressure off the defence by doing that and being comfortable on the ball and being able to rip teams apart and offensively penetrate, then we are going to invite pressure onto ourselves, and we are going to be defensively vulnerable, even if we've got bloody Mohamed Ahmad, Sergio Ramos, Maldini, bloody Bruce Lee at the back there. It's still going to be difficult, because that's what it is. It's a team game. If you've got 3 shirts on, 2 shirts flooding forward, you know, there's only so much the defence can do. So that's what I'm saying. We do need to, we've got to work out for ourselves. It's going to be a tough season. We needed to strengthen in this window. We haven't done that. It's a complete bloody calamity. The Glazers, I want them out. Woodward, I want him out. I want him to go and fry that potato head and make himself the commercial director, or make himself the financial advisor, or make himself any sort of role other than chief exec, where he's controlling players in and players out. Football, we need a football director, and that is probably the quick fix, something that the Glazers could actually do to make the fans respect them just that little bit, is put a football director in and get some bloody transfers in, get some players in, move some players on as well. We haven't done a good enough job of it. Sanchez is around stinking it up on 500k a week. Incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely unfathomable. Right, I'm just going to read a bunch of comments out here at the end, guys. Oh, crikey, they're coming through significantly today. I can see we've got a couple of 100 legends tuning in right now, actually. Nice to know I'm not just talking to myself here. So thanks for stopping by on the channel. Do us a favour, smash a like on it. Like this video, share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is the home of the United sort of rant video, if you like. Been doing this for about 6 years. So I will always give you my honest opinion, my views on what United's goings on there are, whether it be transfers, the window, the Glazers, whether it be poor performances on a week out basis. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you do smash that cheeky little subscribe button and click that bell too to be notified when we post on the channel. And I want to apologise for any technical issues we had earlier on in the stream. It's not usually as shite as it is today. Virgin Media are going to get the old frickin' rock bottom, metaphorically, on the telephone. And the stream earlier I did with Henry was a little bit shoddy too. So apologies for that. It seems like I'm doing okay now, though, in terms of stream stability. Right. Neil Duffin, how you doing, Neil? Nice to see you, mate. Comments, bollocks to the transfer window. Bring on the new season. Come on, United. That's a good attitude to have, mate. It is, because regardless of who we've got in and who we've not got rid of and who we didn't sign, and we have got the squad that we've got. We have to make the most of it. The players are capable if they all perform, and they all consistently perform to their a high level. People like Pogba are going to have to step up. People like Martial, people like Rashford, they're going to have to really take the mantle and be those leaders for United now. So there's no excuses. It is a shite window, but you're right. We've got a few players in. At least we have to defensively improved ourselves. But let's be honest, Neil. Do you know what? It's a shit window, mate. It is, because we haven't actually... I don't think we've improved ourselves much at all. Defensively, we're better. We are. Much better. Midfield-wise, we're weaker. We don't have Ander Herrera. We didn't improve. Got Daniel James, if you want to include him. Could be good. Could have helped. But not an Ander Herrera. Not somebody who really puts in the effort like he did and puts in a shift and leads in midfield there. So that's a big loss. Big loss. We needed leaders in this transfer window. What have we got? Maguire, he's a leader. But we lost a leader. We lost Ander Herrera. So we haven't actually improved ourselves there. And up top, we lost Lukaku. A proven goal scorer. Not a good enough strike rate for me, for United. But consistent in a way. Internationally, 1 in 2 goals even for United. Not bad. Good option off the bench, sort of player you can bring on in the 65th minute. He'll come on, get you a couple of goals with his physicality and being able to change up the play a little bit. I know Ole Gunnar probably doesn't want to play that way, wants to play with fast, pacey strikers in behind, wants to play a different type of game, a more high-pressing game, a faster, direct game, and I want to see that too, and he doesn't fit. But the fact is, if we weren't going to improve and get somebody who does fit that, then it was a mistake to let him go. And that's pretty crazy to say, because I've been saying, let's get rid of Lukaku for ages. But I assumed, and assuming makes an ass out of you and me, evidently, because I assumed that we would have replaced him with somebody. But we haven't. Oh. Acid Man 88 comments, Young is the captain. Let that sink in. Bloody Ashley Young captain. Jockey551 comments, Pogba be thinking, what the fuck? He be off in January. Yeah, that's the thing. We haven't, Pogba could still go to a different club in somewhere else around the world. He could, but probably not now because United haven't strengthened. We haven't been able to get the players in to actually make our position better. So we're not going to let Pogba go until January now. So you're right. No way will we be letting Pogba go till January. But if he is a want-away player, and based on what he said in Japan to the press previously earlier on in the summer, is that he is looking for a new challenge. He would like a new challenge. So he's probably not going to be the happiest at staying at United, yet we need somebody who's committed, we need somebody who's motivated, we need somebody who's devoted to United for the time that he's here. And based on the fact that over the last couple of seasons, we haven't got that Paul Pogba, we haven't got that devoted, committed, motivated player, what makes me think that a player who probably is going to be going away soon is going to really be that player and step up and be that midfielder that we need this season? I am really, really sceptical about that one. Thank you very much for your comment. Henry Hotspur in the house, I can see, mate. Yeah. Nice one. You got Lo Celso on loan. You got you're probably on your 8th beer now, celebrating, whatever. You got Lo Celso on loan. You got Ryan Sessegnon in. You signed Ndombele. It's been a good window for Spurs. He comments, have to say I'm envious of the Wan-Bissaka signing. I think he would do very well for you, you absolute sarcastic piss taker, man. I mean, fair enough, if that's truly what you believe. He is actually a really good player. There's no way you could not think he is a good player, because he's evidently a good player. So I know you must be envious, but you have just signed Sessegnon, who's a good young player also, wing back. You have just signed a couple of players that United could have done within midfield to improve our midfield. So obviously there's a bit of a sarcastic twist to that one, isn't there, Henry Hotspur? Thanks for stopping by on this live stream, though. Shame that your shite VPN and internet connection or whatever it was, calamity out there, ruined the live stream earlier, mate. Right. Gungshi says, Spurs did really well, have to admit it. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I can't hate on Spurs' transfer window. They have actually got themselves a really good set of players. Sessegnon, Lo Celso on loan, and of course Ndombele. That has improved them significantly, even though they lost out on Trippier. They've kept hold of Christian Eriksen by the looks of it, who was a maybe about, United would have supposedly interested in him, and then they weren't, and I don't know why we weren't, because we bloody should have been, because he's a quality proven player. I don't know why United weren't trying to go out there and get people like Sigurdsson, who would easily come to United and would step up and we could sign him, definitely. Why wouldn't we do that? Use a bit of a bargaining chip. We've got Rojo, Jones this morning. Why is there no bargaining chip offer for somebody like Sigurdsson? Sigurdsson's a proven player. He's going to get you 20 assists a bloody season, mate, or something, or 10 15 assists and a bunch of goals. Great from set pieces. Maybe not the top player, but that's what I mean. We're not in the market for top players at the moment. We can't compete, unfortunately, with the top teams for the top players right now. We don't have the Champions League football. So those are the sorts of players we're looking for, but they're good, proven players that we didn't even bother going for, man. Shitehouse. What a shitehouse. Yeah, fair play, though. Some good windows. The best transfer windows this summer. Arsenal have had a great window. They have. Alex Rudd, absolute legend of the channel. He will be pretty happy, I think, with the window that they've had, because they got Pepe, an exciting winger, somebody I'd like to have seen United signed. It's a lot of money, but he's a very good player from what we've seen, and I think he's just a talent. Very good signing for them. They've already got people like Lacazette, they've already got people like Aubameyang, insane players. They lost out on Aaron Ramsey, they lost out on a couple of players this summer, Welbeck's gone, but really they've strengthened, they have strengthened, and at the back there they strengthened, so we'll see how they do, but I think it's been a good window for them. I think it's been a good window for Spurs. I think it's been a good window for City. Don't think it's been a good window for United, even though we've improved defensively. Lee Baz says, do you think we'll beat Chelsea Flying Pig? Yes, I do, because I think that's the best top side United could play right now, as I previously talked about earlier on, because of the two sort of inexperienced managers, the fact that Chelsea have had a transfer ban, they've not had inspirational players coming in this transfer window. United have improved defensively, we've weakened ourselves in the midfield and offensively, so it's not good, but I think if we're going to play any of the top teams, it's them. I think we can get the job done, but listen, I'm an optimist, really. I'm a realist, but I'm an optimist, and I'm hoping that we can. But if I'm realistically talking about, I don't know. I just hope we don't bloody lose that game. I really hope we don't lose. Aaron Thrax 28 comments, it's a 5 out of 10 window for us. I think that's a fair rating. I'll probably have to give it the same, maybe even a 4, because Harry Maguire's an inspirational signing from a defensive point of view. But elsewhere on the pitch, seriously lacking. Herrera's a big player for us, he's gone. Lukaku was a useful player for us, he's gone. They've not been replaced. What I would say though, and a lot of the outsiders looking in who haven't watched United's pre-season may not know this, but United have got a serious good crop of young players coming through again. Once again, it may not be class of 92 again, but that was an incredible crop. But we do have some really talented players. If you've not seen the likes of Angel Gomez, I think he could play a role this season. If you've not seen the likes of Chong, I think he can seriously play a role this season. Looks absolutely quality. If you've not seen the likes of, who else is there? Yeah, Mason Greenwood, 17-year-old prodigy. Could he be the next Michael Owen? Could he be the next Wayne Rooney? Could he be that breakout player? Could he chip in with 10 goals in the league for United this season? That would be amazing. Could he do that? There's a lot of ifs. Ryan Lim says James Garner, play him over Static matches. Yeah, this is a good... I'd like to see players given the opportunity over these ageing players who are not good enough. We made Ashley Young captain. I don't get that. Ollie Gunner, man. That is a shocker, mate. I'm sorry. I love you, Ollie. I want you to be a success. I'll support you. But fucking making Ashley Young captain. You're having a joke, aren't you? You might as well make Matic captain. It's that sort of a shocking appointment as captain, but there you go. Ashley Young's captain, 33 years of age. How much is he even going to play? He's a useful player, he's a good player, he's an experienced player. He's over the hill, only good as a backup now. We've made signings in positions that we don't even need Ashley Young anymore. We have Luke Shaw, we have Diogo Dalot, we have Wan-Bissaka. What is Ashley Young going to do? So, okay, apart from be a backup player, but if he's a backup player who just comes in to fill in for injuries or just comes in for substitutes, why in all that is God, good and holy is he made the squad captain? That makes little to no sense at all. So I don't get that appointment from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at all. And that's the same case with a lot of the other players. Matic as well, like we're talking about. Give the opportunity to some younger players. If we're not going to sign players, let's bring players through. Let's bring players who do have that potential ability to be quality at some point in the future, rather than just accepting this mediocrity shite that's right now that's never going to be good. That's never going to be good. That's never going to actually... do the job for United. That's what we should do. Players like Chong, players like Angel Gomez. We've not signed any good players to improve us with experience, so we're going to have to give it to the young players now because we don't have the people in there. We've got a want-away Paul Pogba who only performs half the time anyway. We've got a static Frankenstein monster. We've got Freddie Flintstone. We've got very, very bang average players in there with little mobility. Now's the time to give it to those young lads. Give it to the young lads with the legs. Give it to people like Angel Gomez and Chong who could probably learn a lot this season, improve, and actually fight and show hunger and desire to show their worth to the club, to be a professional footballer at the top level, and who actually have that motivation to play. And it's, you know, Paul Pogba, I want him to be successful at United this season for the few months that he's here, because I think he probably will leave in the January window. Why say stuff like that in the summer transfer window about wanting a new challenge if it's not going to happen? I just think the reason it's not happened now, we haven't got a big enough offer, and also we need him now because we haven't actually signed anyone. So that's the situation we're in. Everybody tuning in, thanks so much. So many comments coming in here. You know I'd love to read them all out. Apologies if I can't actually read them all out because there's so many coming through here, but get commenting for the last couple of minutes. I'm going to stick around a little bit longer just to read a few more of your thoughts out, because I'd love to hear what you guys, the fans of Manchester United or general football fans, think about the goings on at this once great club. And it is a great club, but it's not as great as it used to be. It's a once great football club, mainly because we have Glazers, mainly because we have Woodward in charge, and they are just literally stinking up the place with their awful management of this football club and the money grabbing, the sucking, the leeching of life out of this great football club. That's what's going on, and unfortunately we're feeling the effects of that because we're not able to compete in the transfer window anymore. We've slowly slipped down the pecking order in terms of pull and in terms of being able to sign players. We've slowly slipped down the pecking order in terms of league position, in terms of quality, in terms of competition. So we've just slipped down. We're down the rungs on the ladder a significant way. If this was snakes and ladders, man, we'd be freaking right back at the start. We would have had a complete mare. So yeah, it's always going to be this way while the Glazers are here. Hate to tell you, I hope Ollie can make a success of it. I hope he can bring through the next group of youngsters, which is probably what we're going to have to do because the board are not prepared to invest and spend money to improve and help United get there on the pitch. That Ollie's going to have to do it. The coach is going to have to do it. They're going to have to bring the players through, and they're going to have to hope that the few big experienced players we do have at the club do perform. David De Gea had a bit of an end to the season that was ropey. He's going to have to do the business. Pogba, you're going to have to step up while you're here, pal. And then Rashford and Martial and guys like that are going to have to do it. Jockey551 comments and says, I've supported United since Big Ron is in charge. We won't die. Very well said. I mean, United have come back from worse stuff than this, from falling after Sir Alex Ferguson have left. You know, think about the Munich Air disaster, man. Most of your squad is killed. The manager's, you know, on death's door, he survives. And then that same manager with a couple of players like Bobby Charlton brings back, and I think the goalkeeper, Harry, Greg, anyway, and a few players come back, and within 10 years they win the European Cup. In fact, 10 years to the day almost, I think it was. So that shows you what a phoenix from the ashes Manchester United can be. We've come back from worse things from this in our history. Newton Heath, man. Newton Heath back in the day, bloody stadium got bloody bombed, man, during the war. Things like that we've come back from. Obviously, we're going back hundreds of years, but it's a different name. But you know, the tradition, the history of this football club is great. It is one of a never-say-die club. The fans of this football club around the world, they're absolutely the best in the world, in my opinion. They're the greatest fans. They love this football club. And all we want is this football club to be back where it belongs, which is right at the top there, challenging for all trophies, challenging for all major honours, and playing some good football along the way, entertaining the fans, giving the fans who pay their hard-earned money, you know, to something to excite them for the weekend, basically. We've got a comment here from Snowy, who comments, and Fergie thought Jones would be the next best defender. LOL. Well, the thing is with Phil No Bones Jones is at the time when we signed him, 18-year-old from Blackburn, I think we paid a lot of money for him at the time. I think it was 18 million, maybe it was 20 million, maybe it was 12 million. I don't know, it was a while ago. Fair amount of money, looked mustard to begin with, looked really good. He was only 18, he had all the potential in the world, or maybe he was 19, 20, but really young anyway. Raw talent, great talent, versatile, looked comfortable at CDM, looked comfortable at right back, looked comfortable at centre back. But then it all went to shite, and I think it didn't help him because he got injured a lot of injury problems, very injury prone. He has no bones at the end of the day. He's just a gelatinous mess out there on the pitch. That's why his face makes those shapes. So it's no surprise that he picks up all these injuries. He has no bone structure. He's called Phil No Bones Jones for a reason. So that is basically the story of Phil Jones' downfall, you know. Anyway, an unfortunate smelting incident it released him from his bone structure, basically. There we go. So it didn't work out for him, but it could have. I don't think that's a bad signing from Sir Alex Ferguson. It just hasn't happened for Phil Jones in his career. It hasn't happened. There's a couple of other signings where it didn't happen as well. I mean, look at Wilfried Zaha, Fergie signing. We signed Wilfried Zaha just before Fergie left, and he didn't do it for United. David Moyes, he ended up shagging David Moyes' daughter, and there was this big wedge. Look at Zaha now. He's a player who is seriously he's in demand. He's wanted. I believe he stayed at Crystal Palace in this transfer window, which is a huge bit of news for them to keep hold of a player like that, because he is a really good player. So yeah, there we go. Right, let's read a few more of your comments out, guys. I'm having a lot of fun on the live stream tonight. It's nice to vent. It's nice to get my emotions out there. It's nice to get these anxieties and these angers and all these sorts of things out there, because it's not good for you, is it? And that is something that this window has definitely done to United fans, I think, is anger them. It's caused them stress. It's caused them pain. It's caused them bodily weakness. It's really stressful. It's stressful being a United fan during the transfer window. It's even more stressful when we don't get the players that we wanted come the end of it. Will there be some sort of a last minute announcement? Do you remember when we signed Falcao? I'm pretty sure when we signed Falcao, that was like a couple of hours after the end of the transfer window. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to sign Falcao. I don't want to sign a player like Falcao right now. We don't need that. But is there a possibility United could just have a player coming in that they managed to squeeze through that nobody knew about and that will be announced in the next couple of hours? Is that possible? Is that even possible? I'm not saying is that going to happen. Is it even possible? Let me know. We've got a comment here from Dixon Adenan, who comments, will United sign any player before the deadline is closed? Well, there you go. That's what I just said. Will they? Will it be announced? Will we be surprised? Very unlikely, based on what we've seen so far. I very much doubt that there will be an announcement from United for a player, because the Glazers, we're a bunch of clueless mercenary twats, and Woodward's a clueless potato head, and unfortunately, there was no movement, there was no news. There's not even been any real speculation these last couple of hours from the major news outlets about people going to Manchester United. No, it's been a couple of things, Rojo to Everton and things like this. Lukaku, obviously he sealed his move to Inter Milan. It's all players going out. There's nothing concrete about players coming in for Manchester United. So there we are. Comment from Razerk, who comments, if this happens for another few windows and the other teams spend, we will be top 10 teams soon. I mean, we can't go on like this. We cannot go on like this, because you're right, we're getting beaten out by the teams above us. We're not closing the gap. Spurs, they're above us. City, Liverpool, how many points did they finish? 31 and 32 points, I think, respectively, they finished above United last season, and we haven't gone out there and even really tried to close the gap. It's not good enough you sign Maguire. It's not good enough you sign Bissaka and James. Come on, not when you're losing Herrera, not when you're losing Lukaku. Even if we kept those players, it wouldn't have been good enough. So all we've done is lose experience and gain raw talent, a bit of raw talent at the back there. Defensively sounder, offensively weaker, creatively weaker, midfield stability weaker. We're a weaker team than we were when we started the window. That's all I'm saying. Defensively, we're much stronger, but overall, man, we're a weaker team. So you're right, if we go on like this for many more windows, transfer windows, then it's only going to get worse. You're only going to see the nosedive of Manchester United that's happened since the Glazers have been here, or certainly since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. That you're only going to see that continue. You're only going to see a worse Manchester United, because if we're not, we just said it ourselves. We've been talking about when we haven't strengthened in this window. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I've got a bit of an issue on the stream here. I think it's starting to melt. So do us a favour before I go. Smash a cheeky little like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Get your thoughts and comments and opinions in the comment section. If I've not answered your questions or your chat comments here, I apologise. You know I love to. You know I try to do everybody. So please do us a favour. Come back once this video has been published and get your thoughts and comments in after this video is finished in the not live comments, and I'll respond to everybody who is not a complete douchebag in due course. So please do that. Follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD. Tweet me whatever you like, interact with me, talk to me about United shite transfer window. I'd love to hear from you, and thank you to everybody who has tuned in. You're a bunch of legends. Anyway, I'll see you very, very soon. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United saying once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Smash a like on it, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Glazers out, Woodward out. United's transfer window is a true calamity, and to be honest with you, it's no more than I was expecting. United are a disgrace at the moment. They're such a disgrace, they're giving me a bloody stutter. Good night, guys. I'll see you soon. This is the Pig. Take it easy. United, sort your bloody lives out, you disgrace. Glazers out. Woodward out. I've had a